Well, hello again. We are back for the final of Women's Tier 3 between Rebellion Roller Derby and the Norfolk Broads from Norfolk Roller Derby. Rebellion will be skating in black with the Norfolk Broads in their eye-catching red. And we'll just quickly run through the rosters for these games.
All right, how about if I do Norfolk? Skating for the Norfolk Roller Derby, the Norfolk Broads in red, as you mentioned. Number 00, Khaleesi. Number 17, Vixen Mortar. Number 19, Notorious. Number 20, Political Vagenda. Number 222, Kelkan. Number 253, Jojo Yubari. Number 261, Rainbow Blight. Number 265, Ruthless. Number 393, Slam Diego. Number 46, Penny Slain. Number 5, Short Circuit. Number 89, Kelly Kapowski. Number 915, Applebite. And number 999, Denny Hell.
Thank you, Beast. And skating for Rebellion, today we have 0, that's Vicky Vale. Number 13, Boris. 182 is Queen Malice. 2 is Doyle. Number 20 is Wreckham Ralph. Number 313, Ginger Snaps. 365, Fox U. Number 455, Booty Vicious. Number 49 is Nightmare. 69 is Hench. 8 is Dewdropper. 88, Tina Turner. 96, Grenada Def Jam. And 999, A Cute Injury. So we've got less than a minute to go before the first whistle is due. Skaters are milling around. Maybe we'll take a jam now. That'll do.
All right, as you mentioned, this is the final. And both of these teams winning earlier today. Norfolk defeating Bath. And Rebellion defeating
another team.
The other team that they play.
Was it? Okay, I'm confused. I've taken copious notes. Oh, no, because Granite City played Bath. They're playing...
Just now, yeah.
Oh.
Well, we'll figure that information
Yeah, I've lost
out.
the plot.
Yeah, we'll get that
So,
too.
we are off, and jamming for Norfolk and getting lead jammer straight away, we have number 222. That is Kelkan.
And Kelkan into turn 2 now on a scoring pass. Norfolk blockers trying to set up there and provide an inside line, and they do. Kelkan through for 4 points. Maybe even 5 points on this first scoring pass.
No, Rebellion jammer is Boris, has taken off the star helmet cover, being recycled at the back of the pack. Still hasn't completed the initial pass.
Kelkan coming down the home straightaway now, or trying to.
Some powerful blocking there from Norfolk, impeding Boris right away around the track. Boris completes the initial pass and is declared not lead, just as Kelkan calls off the jam.
And with, I believe, 4 more points on that pass. In fact,
5
total points
so
per pass. So 10 total in that jam. Norfolk in the lead now. 1 jam in, 10-0.
So 2 natural Grand Slams there. With the really seeing some straight away really powerful blocking from Norfolk, who just don't want to let the jammer go anywhere. Everything to play for in this final.
There it is. That whistle starts the jam, and jamming now for Rebellion. That's Dewdropper going up against Penny Slain for Norfolk.
Pack really not moving at all, just being nudged gently forwards. Norfolk holding back while Rebellion are nudged forward by the Norfolk jammer, who takes a little knee to the floor.
Good, strong, aggressive defensive pack play from Rebellion right now. An effective 4 brace containing Penny Slain as Dewdropper is through.
Declared lead jammer. First lead for Rebellion in this game. Factual stats here, coming to you live from Miami's pen.
All right, and Penny Slain through the pack now, completing their initial pass.
Dewdropper gets the points, calls the jam. Taking us to 4 points for Rebellion, 10 to the Norfolk Broads. And some nice clear signalling from the referees so that if anybody was in any doubt, they can see it. I do like a nice clear referee.
All right. Pack lining up on the pivot line as we get ready to start jam number 3.
Jam is on. Both jammers hit the back of the pack, and there is a big, like a rugby scrum there.
Oh, nice check there by number 20.
Wreckham Ralph.
Sending Khaleesi to the floor, and that creates an opportunity for acute injury. Oh, but acute injury headed to the penalty box on a cutting the track penalty. I'm going to guess lead is still open for Khaleesi if they can earn it.
Looks like it.
Oh, not anymore. That helmet cover has come off.
So there will be no lead jammer, nobody to control this jam, apart from the jam timer. There's been a forearms penalty issued against number 2, that's Doyle. So they've headed off to the box. So Norfolk with the advantage here Khaleesi has just finished the initial pass and is going around on the scoring pass. One blocker for Rebellion and the jammer in the penalty box.
Norfolk trying to tenderize the Rebellion defense at the front of the pack. Khaleesi going to come up and add some juice of her own there.
What a nice way to describe it. But Khaleesi gets through, still being chased down to the edge of the engagement zone by 1-9. That would be...
No.
Notorious. Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, Khaleesi through on pass number 2 here, or trying to do that.
Taking a bit of a battering to the infield, while Khaleesi is at the back of the pack. 0-0, Khaleesi is at the front of the pack, taking a battering. Everybody's taking a battering. That star panty does make you a target.
And with acute injury back on the track for Rebellion, trying to maneuver through and complete their initial pass. That pass is now complete.
Some more good blocking from Doyle there, just constantly knows where the opposing jammer is and is very, very keen to use the hips to get them onto the infield. And the jam comes to an end with 999 acute injury, nearly all the way through on that pass.
Yep, only able to pass the opposing jammer, but not on a scoring pass. So 0 points on the board for Rebellion. 10 on the jam for Norfolk puts them at 20. And with 1/5 of those points, Rebellion at 4.
Oh, I do like maths.
I do not. I'm an English person.
Well, that was excellent maths for a math hater. So, new jam, we have got new jammers, and there is a massive scrim again. These packs, really tight packs until one jammer breaks out.
And look at all the Fox that Fox U does not give. Picking up lead jammer now for Rebellion. Getting that joke out of the way early.
253 for Norfolk. That will be Jojo Yubari. Is in the middle of the pack, just Rebellion skaters just appearing from nowhere. She gets past one, another one appears, much like the heads of a hydra.
That's correct. For every one that falls, 2 shall rise. And speaking of rising, that is Yo-Yo Jubari. Out of the pack now, completing their initial pass, but the jam will be called. And points will go up for Rebellion. 9 points, in fact, on that jam, putting them at 13.
So Rebellion, we've only had the 4 jams, but at this point they are dominating with 2 lead jam calls to just 1 for Norfolk. So although they've got fewer points, they're doing well in their own little way. Everybody's achieving, which is what I like. All right, the pack moving backwards towards the jammer line just as the whistle is called for the start of Jam 5. And Boris, on their second outing as jammer, is lead jammer. First time they've got lead jam. Just as Nightmare is sent to the box for crimes unknown. Norfolk jammer has not managed to make it out of the pack yet. Just as I speak, 222 gets out. So these two faced off against each other in the first jam, but very different result this time.
Both
Boris is out.
speedy, I was going to say, but both of them about a half a track apart. Boris on a scoring pass, looking to come up again on a second scoring pass.
So Boris has now lapped the opposing jammer and is just leaving the engagement zone for a nice 5 nutritious points.
Yummy.
Black 2-0 is going for a sit down.
And we've had a star pass for Norfolk. And that is number 265, Ruthless, formerly the pivot, now the jammer of record for the team in red.
Oh, Boris is taking a seat in the penalty box, so that's leaving Norfolk with the advantage in terms of number, but it's their former pivot who is jamming, and is she as effective? Well, they've got through. 5 more points in the sky there. Ooh.
Yeah, Ruthless jamming extensively in the earlier game against Bath, quite successfully.
So established jammer. It's good when your pivots are pretty good with the star as well.
Very effective recycling going on there in the far apex.
All jammers on track now. Boris working away, plugging away at the Norfolk blockers as the jam is called.
Great move by Ruthless there at the end to evade all 3 of the Rebellion blockers and pick up a 4-point pass there.
So in that jam, 16 points were earned by Rebellion to 13 for Norfolk Broads, with some jammer penalties.
So we're 10 minutes in, 33 for Norfolk, 29 for Rebellion. Quite a close game so far.
Which makes for quite an exciting final. So the crowds do seem to be coming over here. More and more people are being drawn in to watch this game.
All right, jamming for Norfolk, that's Penny Slane. And taking the star for Rebellion, Dewdropper.
So again, this is repeating the jammers in Jam 2, but with opposite results as Penny Slane is declared lead. Dewdropper having some difficulty getting through the Norfolk pack, or the Norfolk blockers. Oh! Hops, skips, and cuts the track.
Oh dear. Went inside the track boundary there. Otherwise a great move, and you could see the crowd making the boom, boom, boom signal.
Yeah, very excited for Norfolk to have that power jam. Already just a few points ahead. We'll want to capitalise on that. But the hips there of Rebellion, what was it, hench? The hench hips of Rebellion, really not wanting to give any space at all to Penny Slane.
Penny Slane now at the far apex, tangling up with the 3 Rebellion blockers at the front of the engagement zone. Going to opt to call that one off. And I'm going to guess 1 or 2 points are going to go up there. All 4, in fact. So 42 on the board now for Norfolk. And Rebellion not able to score in that jam, standing at 29.
Quite a common sight this weekend has been blockers crowding on the pivot line. Nice little throwback to the olden days.
There you go. If
Nice.
you see a kneel down start, let me know.
We don't need any more of those. Little run up there for the Norfolk jammer, whose number is obscured by the fact that Dewdropper has just whizzed through to get lead. 0-0, so that's Khaleesi being nudged off track after already being sent off for a forearms. So Dewdropper has lead and has some control over this jam, but is being recycled there by Norfolk.
It's exactly what Rebellion needs right now, a bit of a power jam to try and draw them even if they can. First scoring pass completed by Dewdropper puts them at 34 points.
So Nightmare causing a lot of problems for pretty much anybody that's near them. Just kind of nudging blockers out whether they are in the jammer's way or not, saying, I own the track. There has been a penalty. It is a forearms penalty, and it has been assessed against Red 1-9. No. Notorious. 5 more points for Rebellion. Will there be a lead change in just a moment?
The aforementioned Nightmare sending Khaleesi to the ground.
Another 4-point pass, yeah. And we have had a lead change. Everybody should take this opportunity to stay hydrated. Another pass, just skipping through the pack. 5 points for Dewdropper. That's up to 19 points on this jam so far for them.
Rebellion looking to open up some real estate if they can here between them and Norfolk in this jam.
So Dewdropper taking the impact of a hit, rolling round, carries on their way. 24-point jam for them so far. Can they get a few more?
Dewdropper chasing the clock here. 2 seconds, 1 second.
Norfolk very smartly saw the time, got to the front, made it as hard as possible for Dewdropper to get the points.
But that's a 26-point jam for Rebellion, and that puts them firmly back in the lead with 55 points to 42 for Norfolk. 16 and a half minutes remaining here in the first half.
Is that Khaleesi on that one?
Khaleesi.
A whole new jam. Skater and skater. So, again, really tight. Blockers from both teams just really close together, not wanting to concede any ground to their opponents. Norfolk Jammer nearly getting through. Is that Fox U?
That's number 999. Acute injury, taking lead jammer now for Rebellion.
So that's 2 leads in a row for Rebellion, but they haven't got much time as 253 Jojo Yabari is racing up, forcing the call off. Lots of clapping from the audience and indeed from the Rebellion team themselves.
So 3 points on the board for Rebellion that time, puts them at 58. 42 for Norfolk. Pendulum swinging Rebellion's way here, but just takes one jammer penalty to make a momentum a fickle mistress.
Indeed, Rebellion moving back from the pivot line towards the Norfolk blockers who are crowding the jammer line. Both jammers seeming to make progress. Rebellion really being held up by 19, but 3-6-5. That is Fox U with lead jammer.
And now that's Cam jamming for Norfolk. Helmet cover in hand, trying to... Oh, we had a star pass, in fact. That's 999 Danny Hell with the star in hand.
Forearms has been issued to Fox U, removing the advantage they had from lead jammer. Thought it was a back block myself, but yeah.
So Danny Hell getting put to the ground decisively at the top of the apex there, putting the helmet cover on finally.
Penalty box really busy now. 2 blockers, 1 from each team, and the Rebellion jammer, who's now standing.
Nice work by Danny Hill, making room for herself on the inside line and completing their initial pass. Fox U back on the track now.
Oh, wow.
Storming into the pack.
Really nice. Norfolk thought they had a real good wall there, but just holes appeared and Fox U got through but was then recaptured. Bit of a spread out pack with, it seems like a pinball game of Fox U just bouncing from one Norfolk skater to another.
Meanwhile, Danny Hill with the star for Norfolk, able to complete one scoring pass. Back in the pack now. A strong Rebellion 3-wall at the lower apex. Danny Hill trying to work an inside line there, whittling away at the Rebellion blockers and able to make it through and complete another scoring pass. And that's number 20, Wreckham Ralph for Rebellion, going off on an out-of-play penalty.
Well, that has done quite a lot. That jam has brought the scores quite a lot closer. Just 9 points in it, with Norfolk on 53 and Rebellion just ahead on 62.
Inspiring to see the degree to which the jammers have been staying out of the box. So far, not too many.
Always a good tactic, I find. If you are on track, you stand a significantly greater chance of getting points.
There you go.
Star pass in that one, and who did it? Or did 999 start as jammer?
And we've got a team timeout. Yes, a team timeout being called for Rebellion.
All is calm. There's a sense of anticipation in the air. I feel half of the people in the audience have been skating their hearts out all weekend. And the other half have probably been working this tournament, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice to see on the scoreboard. Thank you to crew, thank you to officials. One of the great things about this sport. How we acknowledge all the people who give up their time and their money to be here and to make it happen. And happen it is, as we have a new jam. Going into jam number 10 now. With every blocker either in the box or on the pivot line. One apiece in the box. Nice little run up for the jammers.
This jam underway and jamming for Norfolk. That's Penny Slane going up against Boris, jamming for Rebellion.
Boris battering her way through at the front, while Penny Slane has been recycled and is persistent there. But just before Boris was called, so no lead for Norfolk. Boris is your lead jammer. Just battering into the chest of the Norfolk blocker there.
Look at that, Penny Slane making it into the back. I think picking up some offense there. Boris got kind of slowed down there at the back of the pack. And in fact, yes, Norfolk able to pick up 3 points.
But there has been an insubordination penalty issued against Boris.
Wow. So that will put the Rebellion jammer in the box to start this jam.
So all blockers on track. The Norfolk blockers by the jammer line moving to the side to make a clear pass for their jammer, but Rebellion are moving back slightly. Of course, they do not want to be broken up. They want to provide a unified force, which is what they're doing. Norfolk really poking holes to try and help the jammer through. Jammer knocked out just by the hips of 455, Booty Vicious.
And that is number 17, Vixen Mortar, jamming for Norfolk, now stuck at the front of the engagement zone behind a 3-wall of Rebellion blockers.
I think this is the first time Vixen Mortar has been out, possibly second as jammer. Boris is back on track, lead is still open. Can they make it through the fray and get that coveted? Yes, they can. Boris is your lead jammer for Rebellion. Norfolk's Vixen Mortar still contained by the pack. Norfolk blocker 2-0 Political Vagenda has gone for a sit down in the box. And there's been a multiplayer block issued against another Norfolk blocker there, didn't catch their number. Boris battling away, just 2 jammers to get past, 2 blockers to get past, but they're making it as hard as they can. 5 points for Boris, and they're back on their next scoring pass. 3 Norfolk blockers this time, but Boris makes light work of it, just cantering through on the inside line.
And we've had a star pass on the Norfolk side. Ruthless now with the helmet cover in hand. And very effective blocking in the straightaway by Rebellion. Cycles Ruthless all the way to the back.
More points for Rebellion. Still in control of this jam, but the star pass doesn't seem to have helped Norfolk significantly at this point.
Very strong defense from Rebellion there, anchored by number 20, Wreckham Ralph.
Another blocker has gone to the penalty box there as the jam is called.
And there it is, Rebellion doing a great job of absolutely neutralizing the Norfolk offense right there. Made them pull a star pass and then prohibited the jammer from getting through.
19 points there for Rebellion and nothing earned by Norfolk. Sometimes it is worth just running that clock as much as you can when you've got a star pass on the opposing team. I was talking to Andrak earlier and she gave me some tips, some hints about all the tactics they can do.
There you go.
She was meant to be just massaging me, but I picked up some clues, some brawling clues. Oh, always open to hear about the top team's tactics. Help me understand the game even better.
That's right. All right, so 9:45 is the time left on the clock here in the first half. 82 for Rebellion, 56 for Norfolk.
So, 26-point spread. But from what we've seen, easily achievable within one jam.
Absolutely. Both of these teams manifesting strong offensive work this weekend. And no doubt if they need to, they will drop a comeback just like that.
The timeout has finished. Skating officials are getting into position. Jam timer hasn't left their position.
Inside pack ref Petite Greg with legs that appeared to be made out of rubber or vinyl.
Very, very elegant rubberized vinyl. So 3-on-3 in the pack. And is that
Nice.
Dewdropper? Yeah. The muscular prowess of Dewdropper, just getting out of the pack about half a lap ahead of their opponent.
That's Jojo Yubari whipping out the spiked chain ball to try and make their way through the engagement zone.
You got to get through any way you can. Dewdropper calls the jam, middle of the pack, gets 2 points for it, but more importantly, concedes some points. So, less importantly, perhaps.
There you go, 2-2 on that jam. 84 now to 58.
Norfolk Mirror Coach getting very animated just below where we are positioned.
Yes.
Clearly very happy that Norfolk managed to sneak those 2 points. It's a new jam, jam 13.
All right. Oh, almost an apex jump there for Quelqu'un. Having to recycle back now behind the pivot line. Gonna go for it again. Quelqu'un! And she nailed the apex jump that time and is lead jammer now for Norfolk.
Second time lucky as acute injury is forced to the ground. And again,
all right.
Political Agenda knocking herself down in the process. Acute Agenda taking a while to get back up, but is back on their feet. Good. We've had enough injuries, we don't need to see any more.
That's right.
Pack moving clockwise as 2-0. Political Agenda just nudging acute injury out of bounds again. But acute injury is back. Norfolk trying to reform in front of them.
Nice strong defensive work at the front of the engagement zone from Norfolk now.
Just thinking, where's the other jammer? Oh, they've just been released from the penalty box.
Yeah, that's Quelqu'un having picked up a penalty there. Coming in back behind the pack now at the far apex.
Quite understandably, acute injury felt they didn't want to continue jamming in that jam and conducted a star pass. So 4-5-5, that is Booty Vicious out, not lead, no one is lead, but really battering their way through the pack. Yeah, just taking down a Norfolk blocker at the front there.
Wow. Quelqu'un coming into the pack at full speed.
Short
making the go.
circuit
Oh, wow.
being flawed. And again, background. So we haven't seen Booty Vicious jamming so far in this game, but they seem very comfortable, very fearless.
There you go.
And quite happy.
And quite happy about that, absolutely. As they should be, having put up 9 points on that jam, creeping ever closer to the 100-point mark. 7 points on the board for Norfolk. So 65 now for Norfolk to 93 for Rebellion.
So jam 13 has finished, jam 14 is looming. How many seconds? It was 5.
Pro tip, 5 seconds there.
And just being given birth to by the pack, we see number 365 for Rebellion, that's Fox U, making their way through the pack to get lead jammer. Up on a scoring pass as 4-6, Penny Slane for Norfolk is declared not the lead jammer.
She's declared not lead jammer, but she's going to get a power jam as Foxy is headed off the track for a back block penalty. Penny Slane now at almost the front of the pack there. 3 Rebellion blockers to beat as they come around turn 4. Nice defensive work from Rebellion, grinding to a halt, but they must let her go. Multiplayer block being issued against the pivot for Rebellion now. Penny Slane having completed her first scoring pass.
Referee Belinda signalling 5 as the pack is approached by the Norfolk Jammer. And another 5.
So Norfolk with an opportunity here if they can. Less than a minute on the jam clock.
Fox Yu out of the box now, coming up behind the pack. Looks very focused. Mean, lean, point scoring machine. And is out of the pack, earning 4 points. Quite possibly those points were earned long ago, but now they have been assigned. Oh, Penny Slane just stepping out, having to be recycled there. Vicky Vale watching her every move.
Meanwhile, Fox Yu able to navigate through the pack and complete another scoring pass.
Oh. So Vicky Vale knocked the Norfolk Jammer down, but then went down themselves, so there was a no pass, no penalty there. Just 4 points for Norfolk on that pass.
And as these last few seconds erode from the jam clock, we're going to see how well Norfolk was able to manifest there. I'm seeing 19 points on the board so far.
We are over the 100 point for Rebellion, who are now at 104. And 84 for the Norfolk Broads.
There you go. So 20 points separating these two teams as we go into the last 4 minutes of this first half.
My goodness, it's gone quickly.
It has. I think if we had too many timeouts, no, maybe one timeout per team. And a few OTOs, but otherwise no stoppages.
Oh, 2-6-5 for Norfolk, trying to get through on the inside line, Ruthless, but to no avail. Getting knocked to the floor, and before you know it, Boris is your lead jammer.
Yeah, Ruthless getting assessed a cut the track penalty there, taking a seat in the penalty box. And that type of power jam here close to the end of this half is exactly what Rebellion needs.
Oh, beautiful. Boris just rolling off the Norfolk opposition. It's 2-6-1 for Norfolk. There we've got Rainbow Blights just fighting their way through to rejoin the other blockers. Boris is back, scoring again, just wriggling through the Norfolk crowd fearsomely. They're past 4, past 5, past everybody, and it's 5 delightful points for Boris.
Meanwhile, Ruthless back on the track here with 1 minute left in the jam.
Whoa!
Boris, of course, lead jammer and able to call this jam off whenever they
Just
want.
slid through the pack like a hot knife through butter. And another one facing a little bit more opposition, finds a path through, takes it. That's another 5 points.
Boris, a very prolific jammer in all of the other games that they skated in this weekend, so no surprises here.
Like a human machine. Giving some instructions to the blockers to create a path. Norfolk have to give up and maintain the pack.
Boris, one more pass through, 24 points on the jam already. 14 seconds left on the jam clock. No reason for Boris not to go for another pass, and she does before calling it off. Nice track awareness, and an excellent jam for Rebellion, able to put up 29 points on that jam.
And it wasn't easy. Boris was being impeded, constantly pushing, but also looking for those gaps, those spaces that they can get through. But Norfolk are not making it easy.
No, not at all. And Rebellion certainly trying to keep up a pack speed that benefits their jammer. But we'll see how we go here in the next jam.
Norfolk's jammer currently sitting in the penalty box. And already lead has been awarded to Dewdropper.
So Rebellion seizing sort of control here, getting a lead jammer here the last few jams. Dewdropper now out of the pack, completing a scoring pass, and that's a 5-point pass.
999. That will be Danielle has got both panties, has accepted the star pass, has got out on the initial pass and has forced the call off there.
All right, well, with 30 seconds left on the game clock here in the first half, we may, look at that. I don't know, unless the team calls a timeout, we may not get another jam in here. But our score is 138 for Rebellion, 84 for Norfolk.
That's a big difference in scores. I make it a 54-point difference.
Yikes.
And a jam called with just 2 seconds on the period clock.
And this jam is going to...
Reckenroth has knocked Khaleesi to the ground, but Khaleesi is declared lead jammer anyway.
Yeah, with 2 Norfolk blockers in the penalty box. This could be an opportunity for Rebellion. Khaleesi trying to skate fast and get out of the engagement zone. Wow! Nice move on the inside by Fox U. All right, and that jam comes to an end, and our first half comes to an end as we go into halftime here. We'll give the scoreboard operator time to put those points up. Looks like 4 points per team on that jam. 142 for Rebellion now, 88 for Norfolk. And so our Tier 3 final is at halftime.
Rebellion getting almost double the amount of lead jammers that Norfolk have got. Clearly showing that they're controlling the jams, they are getting the points. Well ahead now. 64-point lead, if my maths is correct.
Outstanding. Okay, well, with 14 minutes left on the halftime clock, we're going to take a break here, so don't forget to feed the cat and put the clothes in the dryer and come back and join us here in just a sec.
We have 2 jammers on track and just over a minute remaining. It looks like it is Boris again. She started the first period going up against the same opponent, number 222, Kelkan, for Norfolk. Referees don't seem to be in any kind of hurry. They're getting hydrated and generally just trying to nudge everybody off their track. So mass exodus. Everybody who shouldn't have been on has gone away. Just clearing the outside ref lane.
All right, and that rolling whistle should signal the end of the halftime, although I look at the clock immediately. See, there's only 20 seconds still left there.
A little bit of a argy-bargy on the jammer line there.
Nice.
Boris looking outraged but smiling and rubbing their thighs. So what can this mean? Oh. We now have Kelkan facing Boris off, trying to psych them out perhaps. But Boris is too focused on their own job. 2 Norfolk blockers making life difficult, but lead has been accepted. Boris is your lead jammer. Norfolk's jammer is still in the pack.
And in fact, we've had a star pass now.
So Norfolk's jammer is not the same person they used to be.
That's right, Ruthless now, the pivot formerly with a star in hand. Looking to make her way to the front of the pack, but it's not going to be the front of the pack,
dear.
It's going to be the outside of the pack. A penalty.
You know what we've got? We've got a power jam here.
There it is.
And Boris is round on another scoring pass. Needing a little bit of assistance from an illegal block from the teammate. A little back block there from Booty Vicious. 5 points for Boris.
I was going to say that point separation that Rebellion was able to set up just before the half is going to continue here in jam number 1 of the second half. 10 points on the board already for Boris.
Boris being surrounded by Norfolk blockers, but getting through relatively easily. So pivot turn jammer is putting jammer Pantheon, has just returned from the box. Passed by Boris. Boris whirls and twirls through the pack. Doesn't seem to be pushing at maximum power, just taking it quite gently. This is only the first jam of this period, so quite wise to not push everything out. Rather elegant call off there. I'm not sure what I can say about that.
Yeah, I believe
On
that's
one
called
foot,
that's the flying V.
the flying V
Yes.
of call offs. Yeah, there was a lot of crotch in there, and that's all I'm going to say.
All right. So and the flourish, it deserved as well as it earned. 20 points on the jam for Boris and for Rebellion. 162 for them now to 88 for Norfolk.
And we have a jammer sitting in the box with no helmet cover on for Norfolk, who is now standing. In the meantime, we have Dewdropper, who's just snuck through backwards on the outside. A rather graceful and elegant way to gain lead jammer. So, helmet cover in hand, the Norfolk jammer has returned to the track. It is 222 Kelcan.
Yes.
Wondering why they were in the box at the end of the last jam as jammer. Maybe the star pass didn't happen?
That's what I'm thinking. It was a illegal star pass. Perhaps that was the penalty.
And you know what?
Let's do it again.
Dewdropper has been to the box, has just been released because Kelcan has returned to the box. Oh,
So-
it's all fun and games here.
It's a double power jam for Rebellion.
And Dewdropper working really hard there, but it feels like Norfolk have upped their game a little bit and are just marking Dewdropper a little bit more determinedly. There's a persistence about them I'm seeing here.
There you go. And of course, Kelcan now at the back of the pack in turn 3, trying to get past that phalanx of Rebellion blockers.
More points for Rebellion, and Norfolk have completed their initial pass and are coming up on a scoring pass. Everybody's been to the box. Nobody can call the jam to a close, apart from the jam timer, and there are 30 seconds on that clock.
So Kelcan with a no penalty at the front of the pack completes a 4-point scoring pass.
Coming back round. Rebellion's jammer is back in the box? Okay, so much is happening. I need more eyes.
And with 6 seconds left on the jam clock, Kelcan completing another scoring pass, amazingly putting up 10 points already on the jam for Norfolk. And with the Rebellion jammer standing in the penalty box as that jam comes to an end, we see the rest of those points tallied, and that gives us a total of 170 for Rebellion and 98 for Norfolk.
Oh, I can do the maths on this one.
Yeah?
It's a 72-point differential.
Ta-da!
I am a multi-skilled idiot. Anyway, back on track, we have got 3 Rebellion blockers. We have got 4 Norfolk blockers, 1 Norfolk jammer, and Dewdropper is standing in the box and has been released. So just had a second or two to serve. So is that Khaleesi, I think? 0-0?
That is correct. Khaleesi jamming for Norfolk, running up against a full complement of 3 Rebellion blockers.
They
Here at the
are
front of the pack.
not small blockers, and they have forced a penalty of some sort. It'd be nice if the referees just kept signalling it so that, like, if I wasn't looking, I can catch it. There has been a high block over there.
There you go.
Got
That is a
one.
standard practice for them, so. Or it's supposed to be. But I'm not their boss.
This is not a Woofter tournament.
yeah. I'm not their dad.
Anyway, back on track. Dewdropper has earned some more points, is out of the box, is scoring, is lead jammer.
Is everything, apparently, and is going to call the jam off with Khaleesi standing in the penalty box.
And 2 of her Norfolk friends sitting nearby. So this is a really weak position for Norfolk to be starting the next jam in. 180 points. Sorry, I should do that in traditional British darts style. 180 points for Rebellion.
Outstanding.
I assume you're familiar with the British darts.
I'm not.
No, good, it's terrible. But good for maths. Anyway, 98 points for Norfolk. There are 5 seconds. There are 0 seconds. The jam is on. So, creating lots of space for their jammer. Rebellion get to the side, but Khaleesi back on track and just ahead of acute injury.
Yeah, nice move from Khaleesi there, out of the penalty box, right onto the track, taking an inside line. Lead jammer for Norfolk. And as you mentioned, acute injury, going to try to force a call off.
Were
they
there
were
any
able to.
points?
Yeah.
I can see 3 from Belinda, who is jam referee for Rebellion.
All right, so very effective there from Rebellion. Not only able to force a call off, but able to pick up 3 points as well.
Clever person. That's my gender-neutral tribute to Jurassic Park.
You clever person.
Clever thing. Maybe a little less tender. So, new jam. We have both jammers battling away. It looks like Boris at the back there. And being contained, really surrounded by Rebellion blockers, is the Norfolk jammer. Being passed by the Rebellion jammer, that is Kalkan on the floor, with Boris getting lead.
Yeah, Boris taking advantage of a multiplayer block being called against Norfolk. Shedding a blocker to the box, provided her the opportunity to get lead jammer, completing a scoring pass now.
Oh, Boris going to the box, got a cutting penalty there. Seemed to be hugging the opposing players as they went past. Being joined by another blocker from Rebellion, as the Norfolk pivot is standing in the penalty box. The pack is just kind of pootling around, not doing much.
Yeah, they appear to have hit the pause button there in the far apex. Kalkan.
And Kalkan has got through, completing their initial pass and reapplying the jammer helmet cover. 50 seconds on this jam. No one is lead at this point.
All right, nice move by Boris around the outside, completing another scoring pass. And when I say another scoring pass, of course I mean the first scoring pass.
But what a scoring pass.
Very lovely.
Number 2, that's Doyle, is trying to recycle the Norfolk jammer. Boris is also being recycled. So both teams suffering the pain and ignominy of recycling.
Boris able to edge through on the inside, though. Complete a second scoring pass for this jam. Just 3 seconds left on the jam clock.
Right, almost her shadow there. Was number 17, Vixen Mortar. Did we have a star pass?
I don't feel like we did.
No, but I have a feeling that maybe they've been swapping shirts rather than swapping helmet covers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's possible, right?
It is possible. Everything's possible in modern roller derby.
Yeah. Everything.
All right, so with 20 minutes remaining in this game, 191 for Rebellion, 103 now for Norfolk.
Norfolk jammer, like a frenzy of energy there, just fizzing from side to side, taking on one blocker, then the other blocker. Vicky Vale going to the floor while trying to block her, and Penny Slane, was that? Yeah, Penny Slane has got lead jammer. Dewdropper working their way through, trying to get past the hips that don't want to let them through. Everybody just hitting everybody.
Rebellion blockers with incredible hip checks here. They've been sending jammers to the floor all weekend long.
You don't see hip checks like that so often anymore. That was back in the day. It was all hips.
There you go.
But that has got 4 points there for Norfolk.
And that pause tells us we're waiting for the scoreboard operator to put up points for Rebellion, but I don't think they're going to show up now. So a 4-0 jam for Norfolk there, 191 to 107.
I believe that's Blitzkrieg, Rebellion's bench coach, who's gone in to have a little chat and just skip straight out. Oh, Norfolk jammer taking a big hit there. And we have Fox U for Rebellion, just getting past one blocker and then just getting recontacted.
And that is number 393, Slam Diego, jamming for the first time in this game for Norfolk.
Lead has been awarded to Rebellion for a very messy struggle through the pack.
little bit of tractor trailer action going on there.
Is that legal? Is that not an out-of-play assist?
I believe it is.
Well, there must be a reason why it's okay, because otherwise... Oh, I see what happened there. No advantage was gained until they were in the engagement zone, but she conserved her energy. That seems legal. That seems good. I'm happy. So, but that was kind of sweet.
And not surprised to see the Norfolk coach come out into the track. Have a question? Yeah, I'm almost certain that the contact between the two players outside the engagement zone would have been viewed as a penalty, but we'll see what the officials have to say.
Of course, they are the ultimate arbiter of all things right and good.
That's why we announce and they officiate. Well, speaking for myself.
It's been a while since I officiated.
Me too.
Referee for many years, man and boy, but no more.
So speaking of referees, they are in the middle now in what I think is this game's first official review.
I think this might actually be the first official review in a game that I've called.
Yeah.
I think people are getting a lot wiser about official reviews, and generally speaking, if the referee saw it, they would have done something about it. There's occasionally when extra information needs to go in, and you might change their minds, but
Yeah, trust fund.
yeah, breaks up the flow of the game. Skaters get cold. There are things to be said for just sucking it up when you get a decision that you consider to be poor. I really want to go down and give my 2 penny thing to there and say,
There you go.
look, the actual advantage didn't happen until they were in the engagement zone. Oh, imagine if this got a new sub-clause in the rules. Next rules say.
All those sub-clauses.
Alright, seems like McFarlane is having a little chat with all interested parties and delivering the verdict. And I can see Stormageddon the House announcer there. Storm knows what happened.
And we'll see if we can get that from them.
Storm! 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 Oh.
And while we try to confirm the source of the official review.
Yeah, it was what I said. Come on, I've got the eye of the ref. The thrill of the fight. Anyway, play is resuming. Jam is on. Boris is your jammer. And Norfolk have a jammer, but Boris is your lead jammer for Rebellion. Kelkan is half a lap behind them, just reapplying the helmet cover and really sprinting after them. People are flying off track, left, right and centre. Someone in the box for Norfolk. Oh, lovely. Lovely apex jump, landed it. That was Kelkan for Norfolk. Then fell. So that counts for something. Was it a scoring pass? Yep, 4 points going up there. Boris back in the pack on turn 3. 2. I can count.
So a full minute left in this jam. Boris, of course, lead jammer, choosing to call it off there. And looks like probably going to be 8 points on the board for... Oh, I want to keep calling them Millennial. Rebellion.
The Rebellion Falcon.
The Rebellion now with 8 for Norfolk, 203 to 111. Your score here with just over 16 minutes left in the game.
So Rebellion and the double century there. Probably a good time to remind everybody to have a little drink of water or perhaps juice. Jam 9. And I've given up any hope of doing stats because I'm interested in the game. We have, looks like Dewdropper is jumping from side to side, making contact with the blockers wherever possible. There's been a multiplayer block awarded to somebody. 999 for Norfolk is off to the penalty box, the pivot. 253 for Norfolk
That's Jojo Yubari.
Is not lead jammer and is being thwarted at every turn by constantly moving blockers. Dewdropper, another scoring pass there.
So yeah, just a minute on the jam clock here, and Dewdropper still lead jammer, putting up a second scoring pass now. Jojo Yubari getting chased out of the pack by number 455. That's Booty Vicious.
Coming back round. Landing on the chest there of Doyle. Quite a fearsome blocker, to my mind.
All right, and Dewdropper going to call that jam, having put up 13 points. Looks like 5 points will go on the board for Norfolk, 216 to 116. I'm going to do the math on that one, Mammy. That is a 100-point differential.
Wow.
Yes.
I think this is a real indicator that the American schooling system knows their stuff.
Absolutely. Those 2 years of college were the best years of my life.
Now, we seem to have a fight to be on the pivot line. I think I did see a pivot toe stop there, maybe trying to draw a full start against the non-pivot blockers. Haven't seen that for a while.
Yeah, put that under the Ripley's Believe It or Not rule section.
We've got acute injury, battling away at the back, hitting the blockers everywhere, being recycled. Coming back on. It is not lead jammer for Slam Diego, although they are out and on their scoring pass have just lapped acute injury. So acute injury may get lead, has got lead. Will they be aware of it? Will they do something with it? They have got a 100-point lead. So with only 13 minutes to go, there's only so much they can do.
Okay, I'm not sure what that was all about, but for some reason, Slam Diego decided to step off the track and then back on.
Did they try to call it?
I'm not sure. But able to put up 5 points on that pass.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So 2 points for Rebellion in that jam and 5 for the Norfolk Broads. A clever pun. I wonder, are you familiar with the Norfolk Broads, the location?
I am not.
Norfolk, one of the flattest counties of the UK, has a lot of like rivers and stuff, and you can go sailing on your nice boat, and you know, people do that.
Nice.
So it's a clever pun. I just wanted
Good.
to make sure that everybody was happy with that clever pun. And jam 11. It's lead jammer for Penny Slane, red 4-6. And there's a new energy and vim about their skating.
And that's probably in part due to the fact that it is a power jam. Fox Youth with the star for Rebellion sitting in the penalty box.
Just 3 blockers there as we have Booty Vicious being goated at the back. But those 3 Rebellion have forced Penny Slane to the floor.
And
after
they've also
back
forced the
blocking.
call off. Yeah.
So, bit of a messy end there. Penny Slane doesn't look great. Just tentatively and gingerly making their way to their feet. And the naughty back blocker has gone for a little sit down to think about being less naughty.
Number 2, Doyle, taking their place in the penalty box.
We have a timeout, you know. It has been called by Rebellion from Bedfordshire, I believe. Unless they've changed. They used to be in Bedfordshire.
Hey.
In the 1870s, they were in Bedfordshire. Things change. And it's been very interesting seeing how many skaters are on one team now that some years back, you know, were on another team. But there's a lot of movement between teams, and it's I don't know, it's nice. It feels like an extra layer of legitimacy to the sport when, you know, people want your skaters.
There you go.
Yeah.
Sometimes all it takes is resentment and an after party. And whoop, you have a new league.
Oh, don't even. It's nice to see people moving and being good-natured about it. Let's
right.
go with that. We're going into Jam 12 now. There are 5 seconds. And the jam is on.
And this jam will start with just a Norfolk jammer on the track. That jammer is Jojo Yubari. And Jojo Yubari, your lead jammer now.
Fox U just released from the penalty box there. Is causing some trouble there. Jerking and juking and being knocked out to the outfield as Jojo gets lots of points.
Nice forthright move through the pack there. Jojo Yubari taking an outside line that time. Nice one.
That's beautiful. Just lifting the right foot to avoid stepping out of bounds. Out of bounds, sorry. And background for more scoring. Calls the jam furiously, attempting to stop Rebellion from getting anything on that jam.
So a total of 9 on the board for Norfolk in that jam. 0 points, in fact, on the board for Rebellion. 218 to 134. Our score, 11 minutes on the clock.
So 84-point difference. Do you think in 11 minutes that Norfolk can make up the deficit?
Well, certainly the number of things that would have to fall in line for that to happen is vast. But, you know, I'm not their real dad, so they can do whatever they want and see if they can make that happen. Jam underway once again. Jamming for Rebellion, number 13, Boris, going up against number 22, Quelqu'un.
Forearm issued against 261 for Norfolk for impeding the jammer illegally.
And Boris out of the pack, having completed her initial pass on a scoring pass now. Quelqu'un getting tangled up in the pack, looking to hand off the helmet cover.
Boris struggling to get out of the engagement zone there with red 8-9. That will be Kelly Kapowski, making life just that little bit more difficult.
All right, in fact, there has been a star pass for Norfolk. The pivot, number 17, Vixen Mortar, with the helmet cover in hand now.
Ooh. Like a painful block into the throat there. Well, perhaps she blocked with her throat. Bit of recycling there. Former pivot holding the star. Being nudged off there by Nightmare. Proving to live up to her name there.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know if any Norfolk skaters will get any sleep tonight, dreaming about being smacked down by Nightmare. Quite an impressive defensive player here for the Rebellion.
Who's just battered a path through for Boris to get another 5 points there.
So Vixen Mortar, the jammer of record for now, Norfolk able to break through and complete her initial pass. But Boris with 15 points on the board already.
I think that must be the trademark Boris call-off. Slid through on the outside, turned around, 1 foot going backwards, hips thrust forward. Call, call, call. I suppose it's very hard to miss a call-off when the hips are being thrust out so thrustily.
Yes. Not taking any chances having that call-off be missed.
Yeah. Look at my hips.
All right. And speaking of team timeout.
Yes?
Yes. Well, there appears to be a team timeout, and it is for somebody. The jam timer. There we go.
It's for Norfolk.
Yes.
So it looks like we've got a 103-point difference here with just under 9 minutes to go. 80-point pass? Possible? Plausible?
Quite possible if the dynamics of physics were to change suddenly.
It might happen!
It could happen. I'm not saying it couldn't.
However, back in the real world.
Back in the real world, Norfolk, having played so well already this weekend, has nothing to hang their head about.
Absolutely.
And Rebellion also winning is their business, apparently, and business is good for them. So
both teams get promotion up to tier 2.
there you go.
I think, probably. I'm less good on that kind of side of things. What I can tell you is that this jam is not on.
No, it's not. Not sure how that happened, but gameplay began. before the jam was on, so we'll try and reset here.
McFarlane having a word with front pack ref and jam timer there. If only I had good eyes and my lip reading were better, I would tell you exactly what was going on down there. But I don't.
So we'll just have to wait.
So I think there was the threat of alien invasion, and they thought we'd best just call this jam dead before it starts.
Just to be sure.
Yeah. There was no delay of game or anything there? No.
Apparently not. And the jam is once again underway.
So we're in jam 14 with Dewdropper and Penny Slane as your jammers. Dewdropper trying to make their way through and getting lead jammer. Held up momentarily only. Norfolk jammer Penny Slane has taken off the helmet cover, is being really confounded by those hips. Some great kind of edge work there from Booty Vicious, really using the feet to be as impenetrable as possible. And the jam stops and something happened there. I was so busy focusing on Booty Vicious's wheels that, everything else escaped me.
There you go. So that jam called off. And skaters back on the track now. Looks like we've got 2 Norfolk blockers in the penalty box. Pack advantage for Rebellion.
Yeah, it looks like they're really kind of swamped just in physical size and height. That can they do anything with so much might around them? They can squish Boris into their own team. Only holding them up from Vicky Vale that was 0-0. We haven't seen them jamming before, I don't believe. Vicky Vale getting squished up, but scoring.
All right, and being chased out of the engagement zone, number 265. That is Ruthless, who was the pivot.
Vicky Vale giving a triumphant hand to her fans in the audience. And
Vicky Vale's jam ref holding up triumphant 3 points for Vicky there. 245 on the board now for Rebellion. 134 for Norfolk.
Nice chance, I suppose, when you are this far ahead to give less often played jammers a bit of a chance to have a go when, go out, have a nice time, get some points if you can, but don't worry too much.
There you go.
And we have Norfolk skipping through ahead at the front, just taking on 2 blockers and getting lead jammer. 253. That is Jojo. You
buy.
It's Jojo. Acute injury is out of the pack, and the jam is called before acute injury can do any acute damage to the points. 4 points there for Norfolk, taking them up to 138. Rebellion remain on 245. Quite a significant advance there, 107 points. But, there's 5.5 minutes.
Sure.
Something might happen. Aliens,
aforementioned aliens.
A
zombie
leopard.
Apocalypse.
A leopard might come out and... Anyway.
That's right, we don't know what's behind that door. There could be a leopard back there.
Fox U is jamming for Rebellion with Kelkan for Norfolk, and it is Fox U who is declared lead jammer. Just sneaking around some Norfolk hips on turn 2. Kelkan, though, not stopped for a moment by the big hits from Rebellion. Just makes the way through on the initial pass. Jam is called before any damage could be done to the points. So that is 0-0. Just on that jam. We didn't have a scoreboard malfunction or anything.
Or a reset.
Fear not.
All right, so 245 now for Rebellion, 138 for Norfolk. And about 4.5 minutes left in this game, so
Norfolk have got another 50 points this period so far, while it's about 100 points for Rebellion in this period. So both teams scoring a little bit lighter so far. And Boris is your lead jammer and seems absolutely delighted with that. So do the crowd. A lot of Rebellion fans here. Boris approaching the pack on the first scoring pass. Norfolk blockers resetting, making it nice and challenging for the jammer referee to count when the points are scored. Penny Slane is out of the pack and is coming back round on their first scoring pass. Can they get up? No. Put on a little spurt right at the end, trying to sprint up and get to the opposing blockers just before the jam was called, but to no avail. 249 plays 138.
All right, and with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock, that's your score.
Track rats making sure all the track is perfect, despite the best efforts of the skaters to rip it up. I do think things would run so much more smoothly if there were no actual skaters playing roller derby. We could just lay our tracks, blow our whistles.
It looks so good.
Oh, a popular choice. Long-term problem as a blocker there for Norfolk. Nightmare has got lead jammer and is sliding through the pack, just battering any Norfolkians who get in their way.
Nightmare coming up on a second scoring pass here through the pack with one Norfolk blocker to beat. And
Ruthless.
Norfolk's given on that pass, able to come through and complete two complete scoring passes there.
Ruthless got to the pack and has just managed to score 1 point before the jam was called by that nightmare of a blocker turned jammer, the Blammer.
All right, and as the clock ticks down to just 2 minutes left in this game, 258 your score for Rebellion, 139 for Norfolk now.
Can they break the 300-point mark? I like to set them little challenges they know nothing about.
There you go.
Dewdropper is your lead jammer, and I think she's heard she wants to score those 42 points that I have asked for.
And she's got a minute and a half left to do that. One pass nearly complete there.
Being blocked out of bounds there and then recycled by a Norfolk teammate. Racing up behind them on their first scoring pass. 253 is Jojo. And has Jojo passed anybody on track? Went out of bounds to the outside. Are we letting this jam play out?
Dewdropper does not appear to want to call the jam.
They're having so much fun. Dewdropper just stepping onto the infield, then stepping back on legally. Everything was fine. And Jojo has been pushed to the outfield again. The Rebellion blockers working together, just kind of like a sentient blob.
Nice isolation of the pivot there by Tina Turner. Absolutely putting up a barrier, trying to prevent the star pass. The star pass does happen, though. No, in fact, the star pass did not happen. Jojo Yubari still with the helmet cover in hand. 14 seconds on the game clock.
Dewdropper pushing away at the front, turns this way, turns that way, a little bit of lateral, gets through. Hasn't been easy, and the crowd appreciates the effort that has been put in there.
And that's the last second of the game. Those whistles will draw this game to a close.
I can see a lot of happy skaters in black, arms aloft, rejoicing. Oh. And confusingly, I think that's Rebellion person in red who's just run over to the team area with the Rebellion flag. That scary skull thing.
For a second there, I thought it was sort of an inter-team cooperation event, but
I considered that, but I think not.
All right, so unofficially, officially, or otherwise, 272 for Rebellion, 143 for Norfolk is the final here in this Tier 3 women's final game. And we have got action on the other track just about to wind up here. What an incredible weekend here at British Champs. Props to everyone, as you mentioned, the crew, as well as the skaters, the officials, the volunteers.
So many people who make this happen.
The people who run the venue.
I think the announcers really kind of brought it together.
Yeah.
You couldn't have a game if nobody was talking about it, now could you?
That's right. If roller derby happened and nobody talked about it, did it actually happen?
I think people will be, the most zen of people will be considering that for millennia to come. I've been Mimey. It's been lovely talking to you.
And I've been Sexy Beast. Thank you so much for listening.
Good night.